So, with episode 5 of Rent a Girlfriend, allow the games to really begin. This episode was actually a great, the way the show does things subtly, actually is something that does impress me a lot. Because the show, I didn't expect it to really kind of harp on things indirectly as much as it does. It just isn't, shows like this don't really kind of have those kind of different aspects, different layers. They kind of just are one simple, plain road straight ahead. But no, I see that, writing in the show of Rent a Girlfriend kind of branching off into different avenues, whether it be, direct things, whether it be subtext on things, whether it be kind of people missing context and using the context that us, the viewer, saw in the first 2 episodes and not allowing the other characters around them to see that really adds for the whole kind of mess that they're in, and as they call it. So looking at Domestic Girlfriend, but Rent a Girlfriend, looking at what happened in this episode, I guess we should start from the beginning really quick here. And looking at the very first episode I'm going to say Domestic Girlfriend again, I promise you. But looking at this very first episode of Rent a Girlfriend, I think it's really, I said first episode of Rent a Girlfriend. See, I'm butchering all day, folks. I'll be here all day. No, but in all seriousness, actually looking at this episode of Rent a Girlfriend, episode 5, this episode really showcased how these two characters are falling in love and have fallen in love. They're in love at this point, or at least they have feelings for each other. I don't want to say love, but they most definitely are into each other in a more than a Rent-a-Girlfriend friendship kind of way. And you look at that, and can you blame them? You would be too. I mean, think about this. You have someone that's risking his life for you, jumping in and saving you. You have someone that just ended the whole charade finally and did it in a manner to where he really kind of put himself on blast. Yes, it took him a while. Yes, he helped get this mess, started, but he tried to fix this mess in the most selfless kind of way in front of his friends, throwing himself underneath the bus. Yes, he did it in a way to where he kind of had to. He's kind of being scummy, but nonetheless, he is someone who is trying. And in that exact moment of Kazuya really jumping in after her in the water whenever she was drowning, that's what she saw. She saw genuineness. She saw a guy that is a mess. She saw a guy that needs to stick up for himself and needs to mature a little bit. But she saw someone that really genuinely cares about her because he risked his life to save her, and his body moved without hesitation and moved without thought. Remember My Hero Academia, what All Might said, people who are real move without thought. I mean, people who hold legacies move without thought. And I think the legacy of these two is going to be true romance. And I'm looking at the show, and as it progresses and as it goes on, and I ask myself, the romance from Mizuharu's standpoint has to be so weird. It has to really kind of be why she's such a hybrid kind of a Dure kind of character. As much as she is a tsundere, she's super straightforward and kind-hearted. Like, she's laughing, she's giggling. She's not just a tsundere to be one. For instance, the end of this episode, whenever she's just kind of like, you can stay in the room too. Why not just sleep right in the same room as me? That's something that she wouldn't have said before. That's also something that demonstrated that she's not just a straightforward tsundere, because a tsundere 100% would have made a smartass remark in that sequence. So let's just think about it. In that sequence of conversation, they would have. That the cliche tsundere would have done that, and I think that's part of the reason why Rent a Girlfriend is actually doing so well. It has all these cliche things, but then it attacks those directly. Hence the whole stupid little ring around the rosy they were playing with the whole breakup thing, right? They attacked that. They made it not just some kind of stupid thing. They made it something that is under a microscope, that is being discussed, but they can't find a way to get out of it. The mess that they've made has intertwined, it has intertangled. You even see someone like Kazuya say at the end, and I quote, "It's all a lie. Our whole relationship is a lie." And that has nothing to do with my feelings. He's admitting that I have feelings, but I've also made a mess of things. I've also should have ended this weeks ago, but yet now I'm here entangled in it, and I have her entangled with it too. And now guess what? Worst came to worst, and I caught feelings. All because of the mess I created. And now, how do we get out of a mess to where whenever we both wanted to get out of it, but now I have part of me saying, I like you around. I like you as a person. I genuinely like you, despite that what our relationship is fake. And I get that. I understand that. It sucks. and it happens. And that's why sometimes you got to be careful, what game you try to play with the people you are around you, because you may learn about them through these games and you may grow extremely attached. And those are things that people don't think about, but they happen. And at the same time, though, I do want to say, whenever it comes to this episode, I don't think you can blame the way Mizuharu feels. Whenever she says, "I'm your girlfriend," says it in front of her friends, in front of his friends right after they broke up, you see that she's starting to play into it too, which really kind of reminds me in a lot of ways of Black Lagoon. And yes, I said Black Lagoon. And I'm saying it reminds me of Revy and Rock's relationship in this sense. Because if you look at how Revy acts towards Rock up until episode 7, to where they have that big explosion, that big argument, as to where Kazuya is actually with Kibe, but it's still nonetheless in front of Mizuharu, it really goes to showcase who the person is. Rock standing up to Revy, just put it all out there. Showcase Revy who Rock really is deep down. 90% of us can be portrayed a different way on the surface, but it's just us really kind of, I guess, dimming down our emotions and the thoughts that are actually going through our heads in certain moments. Kazuya, he was always thinking the things he did whenever he got in the fight with Kibe. Guess what? He blew up and he got that other 10%, that other 10% out of him. That was those thoughts that you could just put on paper but never say. He got that out of him. Mizuharu, Revy, Rock, you see that there needs to be a catalyst for that, and it was those big blow up moments. Now, look at how Revy treated Rock. She was always kind of rude to him, always disgruntled. But then slowly and surely, she went back to save Rock. Edna's trying to make moves on Rock. She says, "What the hell? Do you want me to beat the hell out of you?" You see, just subtle things like that. They act out of character. Let's move on to Mizuharu. She's a character that said, "I'm your girlfriend," after they clearly just broke up in the air. Maybe Kibe being there pressured her, but yet now she still wants to break up. Showcases how she's hesitant now. There's something there that likes keeping him around. That smile was real. That relief of him being alive was more than just, "Hey, I saved his life." It was, "I saved the life of someone I know, someone that has value to me." And people don't do that. They can't truly act in a way of, I don't really know how to put this, but they can't act in a way of selfishness. Selfishness, wherever there is selfless there. And typically, if you have selfless for another person around you, it's because you do have a connection. And it's more than just an acquaintance. It's someone that you truly do care about. And that's exactly what happened in that scene, in my personal opinion. You move on to the other thing, the Grandma's Axis. No, I'm not going to talk about that in a serious manner. But nonetheless, the Grandma's Axis, you take a look at it, and it's funny the way the show just kind of puts all these kind of things, and you have this grandma Axis trying to get the grandchildren to form an alliance. And you have this comedy, you have this seriousness, and it just doesn't make sense sometimes. It doesn't not make sense. And the thing with that, though, I'm really trying to spit this out, because this is actually hard. I'm talking about romance. I'm getting into all this stuff, acting like the guru. But whenever you really kind of look at two people and the people around them pushing for something, and you see the habits change, you learn about the girl sitting in front of the television laughing like you've never seen her laugh before, the sense of worthlessness that you feel, happiness, sadness, all these different things. It's amazing how you can feel these things but not make them out. You cannot decipher them. Kazuya is someone who deciphered that. He's like, "These feelings, it's too late. I can't turn back now. I'm in a mess. I want to keep her around. But at the same time, we need to end this farce." How I really feel about all this is they need to tell everyone that they're not together. And I think that they're going to intertwine naturally. And I think that's what, the main point of me just rambling these last minute and a half, and trust me, it's going to make sense. We're getting to the main point now, is whenever you feel the pressure of the people around you, but then you still see the genuineness in someone, it can deter you from wanting to be with that person, because then you feel pressured into it. You're uncertain. You're like, "I do like him, but do I like him enough? Am I missing some values?" You begin to second guess yourself. You begin to question yourself. And there's been situations to where I think we've all been in a situation where a mom has pushed us to be with someone, or a grandmother, maybe even a dad, who knows. But once you get into those situations, they're the ones that you want the most, almost. But then they're the ones that push you the farthest away. Hence the whole quote, which I kind of feel like is a reference to this, of Kazuya saying she's a fake girlfriend. She's a rental one. She's one that doesn't last long. She's not one. She's one that's not going to last long. She's someone that you're really kind of forbidden to fall in love with. And I think we've all ran into that relationship to where we feel as if this is a forbidden love. This shouldn't happen. I'm really into him. We were best friends, and now it's just going to happen. I have these feelings. It's going to happen. It's spiral out of control. I'm going to eventually have to say them. I can't hold on to these feelings forever. It's been days. It's been weeks. It's been months, and that's kind of where Kazuya is now. He can't say it. He's like, wow, I actually genuinely like you now. This sucks. I'm mad. I'm frustrated, and I'm sure he's gonna. As soon as he got to the end of episode 1, he surely stated, "I can't make her happy. I've been around her all this time, but I've never made her laugh like that. I've never seen her laugh like that. This is like a whole new person. It's the real her." And when we see those signs of genuineness, we tend to spiral out of control. We get in our own head. We say, why can't I make her laugh like that? And at the same time, it's tough because romance is a game of chess in a sense. And sometimes it's unconscious chess. Is she laughing like that because she cares to be with herself and not me? Is she laughing like that because I just can't tap into her and make her genuinely happy? Is she acting like that because she's protective of, I guess, her own personality, thinking that I may be deterred if she acts like her real self? There's so many different questions. And speaking of questions, there's also the question of, why is she short of money? Where's her money going to? Maybe it's for her grandma's bills. Something's not adding up here. Maybe it's for her school. Why is she so tight on money? And I think it's an interesting question. Why? She's so expensive, Kazuya says. But yes, she's broke enough to where she can't even afford the next room. She stated in the past, I can't quit doing this yet. I have my reasons. She kind of monologued to herself. All these different things are going on. And it's really interesting how the show is masking that, while also really kind of like, in a very subtle manner, you do see that arrow going this way for the two's relationship. I wouldn't even say it's like this. I would say it's more like, not flat. It's more like this. It's really, 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 really at more of like a 30-degree angle kind of going upwards. And I'm here for it. I'm here to slowly see something turn into something. I'm here to see some realism. And I think that show's given me a lot of that in a lot of different ways. So, yeah. But other than that, though, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter X25. And, yeah, hopefully the video wasn't too bad. I had a hard time spitballing this video. But it happens because guess what? This show's good. And whenever you got a good show, sometimes it can be hard to decipher, especially whenever it's realistic and some of the realism you understand, but you don't completely comprehend, and you try to act like you do. I try to act like I know what's going on with the romance in life. It's tough. It's hard. It's sometimes you do understand it, but you take that, you change one aspect of it, and it changes the whole context of the situation potentially. And I find that interesting. This show makes me think, it makes me relate, and it even makes me get stumped in videos in a little bit. But I think that, once again, all adds to the realism. And I really kind of like how the show and this season of anime is really bringing that out of me. I kind of like that, right? I think everyone likes videos not heavily edited sometimes. I think it adds genuineness, and I try to be that for you guys. So, as much as I can until I see that needs to change. So other than that, though, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter X25. I'm done with this video. I can't talk anymore. Oh my gosh. See you guys.